the soul of the city.
What is going on, St. Louis City SC fans and MLS enjoyers? Welcome to another episode of Soul of the City. This will be our second podcast from the virtual studio, as we could call it. Today we're going to be talking about our most recent loss in penalties to FC Juarez in Liga MX inside of the Leagues Cup. And then we'll also be talking about a couple of transfers that have recently gone down. I know that a lot of people are kind of going to be upset about one of those from our fan base. So I guess we'll just get our initial thoughts here. Jonah, Mohammed, welcome.
Welcome.
Nice to be here. So yeah, obviously, let's talk about the Juarez game first. We kind of started some players who haven't really had the most minutes this year. Specifically in our defense, we started Ben Lunt and Akil Watts, Yarrow, and Nerwinski alongside Kyle Hebert. What were your guys' thoughts on that?
I thought Lund played pretty well. I thought he had a lot of saves. It was the whole game could have I feel like we could have won. There's two back-to-back goal line clearances from both teams. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think our XG was higher. Like after halftime, it was like 1.6. We should have been up by halftime, but they had a golazo and went to penalties. And I don't really consider penalties losses. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'd consider this one more of a draw due to Dallas losing in the midweek to Juarez 2-0. We were already through the group stages, and I think that's part of the reason why we sent out Lund and Watts and Hebert, Yarrow, like the whole kind of ragtag team of defenders that we had out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest, if it was Marcanic instead of Watts, it would probably have been like my list of least favorite players for St. Louis City. Would have been our back four. But other than that, we saw the almost the same front like five, I guess, with Leuven and Durkin playing the deep line roles. Hartel out on the left. Vasilev was the new addition to this starting lineup in the attack out on the right, and then Tukert in behind Bescher as kind of a center attacking midfield role. Do you think any of those guys really impressed on the day or did anything of note?
I guess I would say, I don't know, Hartel continues to impress. He hasn't really done anything too crazy. No goals or assists this game or anything, but I mean, you could just tell just from looking at him, he's easily our best technical player that we have. And I think Simon Betcher has also looked very good with the amount of running he does on defense, forcing turnovers. He's unselfish. I mean, I think the third of the new players that have been starting for us, Toykert, I'm the least convinced by him. He seems to want to dribble the ball a lot, and when he does, he always ends up dribbling into a defender. That's kind of my first impressions of him, at least.
He gives me kind of a... He plays a lot like Klaus and just doesn't really have that final product, is what I've seen mostly thus far. Like, he's kind of slow. Like, he doesn't really have wheels. He's not super technically skilled. He can dribble a bit and pass well. And obviously he scored the goal in our win in against Dallas. But I haven't seen... I'm with you. I haven't seen enough from him to make a final decision, but I'm definitely leaning more towards this is like the worst signing. And then Hartel, I thought, played pretty well in this one. I don't know if it was as good of a performance overall as the Dallas game, but he played like an outside the foot pass down the line to Betcher, I think, in the second half. And like, who the hell on our team was going to do that before he got here? Like, maybe Leuven, maybe. And then
that's about it.
Yeah, and that's it. And Betcher, yeah, I mean, he gets a goal on the day. I don't know if I've thought he's been incredibly dangerous. Like, he looked a lot better in that Dallas game than in this one, but I think no matter what, he's bringing a lot of tenacity and energy to the table in our press, and I think that's super valuable. And then, have we seen him get called off sides more than like 1 or 2 times yet? I'm just happy to see a forward make runs behind the lines and not get called off.
Yeah, I thought Hartel was clearly our best signing so far. I really enjoyed how he played. He was really good passer, made a lot of good runs. Yeah, Touchard, is that how you say his name?
I s- to
It's
care.
still a
Touchard,
mystery.
because I keep
Yeah,
on saying
let
it,
me
and the
look it
way
up and get the facts straight.
I keep on saying it, someone said it like a slander name, and I can't pronounce it other way than that. So I keep on saying it poorly, but um, I don't think he looked very good any of our games. I agree with you guys. There's a lot of dribbling to nobody. Like, he's like doing a lot of dribbling just to do nothing basically. He seems like a do nothing merchant at the moment, and I don't really like that. Um, I think he'll probably just won't start, even on this bad side right now. I think he's gonna get benched, and I think Hartel's the truth, and he's gonna continue to play.
Yeah, I think Ian, your point about him being similar to Klaus, I never really thought about it like that until you said it. But now that you've said that, like they are truly like the same player.
Very,
And
very similar.
and I feel like if they were both starting, because I feel like once Klaus is back, he's gonna start starting again over Betcher, no matter how
Yeah.
well Betcher has really been playing. So I feel like if we keep the same lineup and just have Klaus instead of Betcher, that could either be like a great combination, like they would link up really well. They'd both be complementing each other, dropping off and making, late runs in behind, or it would be the absolute worst combination. And they
Yeah.
just like wouldn't gel and be in the same spaces.
I think that
So, yeah.
I would honestly prefer to see a lineup where, as of right now, Tukert dropped to the bench and Klaus slotted in as maybe a cam, or like kind of a 2 striker system where Klaus likes to kind of drop deeper and get involved in the play at times. Betcher is pretty strictly like fox in the box, making runs in behind, like striker. Um, and like he gets his goal in this one. I think he's like the actual Gioacchini replacement that we've been looking for in not in the sense of like play style, but some more offensive output that we've needed and lacked this entire year because of us selling him, not really having the answers. I feel like he's going to be the man up front, and I'd like to see him and Klaus on the field at the same time, just because he's always trying to do something else than be in the box to score a goal.
Yeah. I guess like if you guys don't have anything else to say about this game, like that's kind of a nice tie-in to like our new transfers coming in. And like how do you guys think our team should look? Like, Klaus and Alm are about 2 weeks away from being fit. We just got Horn and Kessler, 2 new defenders. Combined with Girdwood Reich, Tweakert Hartel, and obviously Tim Parker left. That's why he wasn't playing against Juarez, right?
Yeah.
So how do you guys think our lineup's going to look, once Klaus and Alm are healthy in 2 weeks at the start of the MLS, once it resumes? We've got everyone trained up with the team. Everyone's ready to go, fully fit. What are you guys thinking?
Before we talk about the lineup, I want to just talk about the transfers and give everyone the info on the actual transfers themselves, because I know I'm sure that a lot of people are upset that we lost Tim Parker. And I understand why you would be upset about that move, because he's good. Like, he's a good player. He's been our center back
Center back.
command for a
Yep.
long time. Since the club's inception, he's been back there. And he's pretty injury proof. Like, he doesn't really get injured very often, and he's always out there, doing his thing. But we signed a couple of guys that I think could be the replacement for him. So the guy that we actually got in the transfer with Tim Parker, we sent Tim Parker to New England with $600,000 in 2025 GAM, which I don't know exactly what the rules are and how much future cash you can spend in the now, but we spent $600,000 of GAM from next year to New England and Tim Parker for Henry Kessler. So I think the main goal of this was to get something in return for Tim Parker's services. Kessler's 26. He's quite a bit younger, like literally the same age as me at least. And he's on a more cost-controlled contract. I think he's still signed up for about 3 years. I'll have to check that. But it gets something for an asset that we were going to lose for free, because I don't think we were going to pay Tim at the end of the year and give him another, multiple-year deal at a high salary. Just doesn't seem like our MO. Houston was still paying a certain percentage of his salary. And
I think half the salary. It was like $500,000 a year, which
he was like the third highest paid person at the club. So it's money off the books, which after our recent spending, I haven't really looked at our kind of total funding and like expenditure, but we've definitely been breaking the bank a little bit more recently. And the other transfer that we made was for Giannis Horn, on loan from FC Nuremberg, straight out of Bundi 1. So this guy's like kind of real deal. I don't know that he was starting a whole lot over there, and that's probably why we're getting him. But all we had to do was pay Philadelphia Union $75,000 in 2025 GAM, and I guess there wasn't any of the discovery rights or anything like that, or I don't know if that comes into play if it's just for a loan, because we've actually only loaned him for the rest of this season. But he can play center back and left back, and I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think he looks like a pretty ready-made center back for us, and we can figure out left back. Kessler might be more of a bench option from what I'm seeing in terms of statistical output compared to like Tim Parker and stuff like that. He doesn't get as involved in the play other than kind of passing it around the back, and he doesn't really play a ton of long balls or anything. So we're going to need a player in there that does a lot more.
So I just looked up how much Henry Kessler was making at New England, and he was making $1 million per year, which that's definitely more than Parker was making, right? He was making like $500,000 a year.
Well, I think we were just paying him $500,000 a year, and the rest Houston was probably paying.
Yeah, it's basically the exact same salary. Actually, we were paying $500,000 out of pocket, but Houston was paying the other half. So it's not cost controlled, but it is
a good deal. We got the younger player that's like kind of going into his prime, while the older.
I feel like he's gonna be a starter, honestly.
Really, Kessler will be?
Yeah, I think if we're willing to pay someone that much, he's got to be like starter material.
I think so too. I've kind of looked around and seen that people think we basically got fleeced out of this because we're losing Tim Parker, who's kind of a stoic center back in the league, and getting someone who plays for one of the worst teams in the MLS. They're bottom of the East right now.
Well, we're also down there, so
I know. But I'm saying that like Tim Parker last year, people were like, "Oh, he's an all-star. Get him in the team." Like,
Yeah, but he's also declining as a player.
Yeah, he's getting older. I get what you're saying.
Especially the way he plays, it's not like smart. It's more physical, more brutish. He has to be quick on his feet, and the older you get, the quicker you kind of make your way out of the league. So
yeah, it's like players that play on pace. They just lose
also,
it after a certain
from what
point.
I'm looking at, is just like clearly we're not winning anything this year, or probably next year. So I'd rather have the younger player and take a risk on a younger player rather than pay a 32-year-old millions. Then he's 35, and we can't get him off the books because now he's old and not the greatest. So I think this is a win for us. So
I saw a article in the Post-Dispatch also that said that apparently Lutz was looking at Henry Kessler, like back when we were first building our team. Like he was considering going for him in the expansion draft if he was available. So
Really? That's
yeah,
interesting.
I kind of think, the team thinks pretty highly of him, and I think he's probably going to be our starting right center back with the other, hopefully I think Nielsen is supposed to be the guy to play left center back, but he's just never fit. So I think that's why we got Horn to kind of play that left center back role.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them kind of don't play a whole lot through the end of this year. I mean, maybe at least through the next couple games. Like Kessler can't play in the Leagues Cup, I don't think.
Yep.
And then Horn, I'm not sure exactly what the rules and regs are on the loan, but
I think
I wouldn't be surprised if they sit out for a few games, and then if it's really kind of all done and dusted and we're just trying to figure things out going into next year, they might get some starts just trying to build some chemistry at like live reps,
Yeah.
Because it looks like Horn is 27, Kessler's 26. I don't know why they would do this loan for the rest of our season, which has like 9 more games in the MLS and then the Leagues Cup. So I'm assuming he probably can play in the Leagues Cup. Kessler's more of like a long-term
Future
addition.
Yeah.
Horn, I haven't read any of the details if there's like an option to buy or anything like that, but this move, if he doesn't really like start playing instantly and we're really going for something, like maybe thinking we could win the Leagues Cup with all of our new signings, or make a run at the playoffs. I know it's statistically technically impossible based off of every MLS result from the past, based on our points total, but this move will definitely not add up to me if
he leaves.
If he ends up leaving at the end of the year. Yeah, if we don't buy him, like why did we get a loan for if we lose to Portland on Friday, like what, 8 more games, 9 more games? Like that's it. That's
Yeah,
all
I think Horn is definitely going to slot right in. I don't know if he's fully fit right now. I think because he came from Bundesliga or Bundesliga 2. So, obviously this is their off season. So I don't know, if he's ready to start tomorrow. I hope he is, because I don't really want to see Hebert Yarrow again. Hebert had a really good game, but I'd rather I don't know. I think we have better center backs than Yarrow.
I lied. He does have a lot of Bundy 1 experience.
He
He's been at Köln and Hanover and Nuremberg, but he's in Bundy 2 right now. So
yes, he has 66 games played in the Bundesliga 1 and 2. He only played 75. And he has some Europa League experience. From my understanding, he's very attacking left back. Like he can play. He has played some left mid games. So
really,
yeah. So he's very attacking. So we'll see how the season ends. It is impossible to make the playoffs, but they also said it's impossible to be the number 1 seed in your first year. So you got some hope. Just got to go on a win streak, and hopefully everyone else shits the bed, and I think we'll be okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess, do you guys think he's a center back, or do you think he's a left back then? Because it seems like he does have a bit more experience at left back than center back, and that's been like a giant problem position for us as a club since last year. Like we have not been able to really figure out left back at all.
I think we stick him in the left back position and see how that goes. Because
I think starting center back.
Yeah, I think right now we have to put him at center back, but I think that he is probably, more experienced, probably better overall than Jay Reed. I think Reed is a really good young left back who will definitely improve over time, but I do think it's probably just like we don't want to rely entirely on this young, whatever he is, 21-year-old or whatever. So I think long term he's a left back, short term center back. We need him.
Slot him in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I definitely don't see Yarrow or Hebert as long-term starters. Like
mhm,
I've said it a million times before on this podcast, both of them are just like good third options. Like they can both come in and play a couple games when an injury occurs, but we saw it in that Juarez game. Like we can touch on it a little bit. Like we were kind of getting manhandled by them in terms of like possession and shots. I don't know that they had a ton of great opportunities compared to us, but they were moving the ball around at will and kind of doing what they wanted to. I think the total shots was 23 to 11. Their shots were 9 to our 4, but with their 61% possession, they didn't have a single big chance by FOTMob's like grading system, which I think is like over like half an XG or something like that is the way that they grade that out. Um, the total XG ended up being, oh dude, where is it? Well, it was
yeah,
close by the end of the game. I know that, and it's just you know it's not. I don't love seeing us just kind of play counterattacking, hoof it over the top all the time. Like I think both of these center backs want to kind of possess the ball and hold on to it, and it would be nice to kind of start controlling the game and dictating play a little bit more than we have been.
yeah. I think we're just in an awkward position. The more that I'm thinking about it, if we don't have an obligation to buy, this really doesn't make any sense to
None.
to bring in a good player that could potentially be a starter, to have him play 9 games, not make the playoffs, and just basically this is a preseason for him. Then he goes back to the Bundesliga too and starts playing. So
Right, exactly.
so unless they're really trying to make the playoffs and a push and hope for a miracle, I would honestly just start the young players, see who got it in the last couple of games, and see who doesn't. Then next year, kind of rebuild, retool all the young players that we don't think that can play right now. Do what we did with Perez, send them to a UPSL team or something like that. Let them get playing time and kind of develop what we have instead of just sitting on the bench and not playing. So I think we need to kind of focus on what we're actually wanting to do. I'm trusting in Lutz, but he got a good year or two out of me left, and I'm like, it's time to go peak
Bro,
in
I feel
Germany.
like he has promptly addressed all issues with the team. I feel like he has consistently brought in like, okay, yeah, sometimes Deer, Pedro, whatever, left back hasn't worked out, but like we've tried different things, and I
No,
feel like
yeah, I agree. But what I'm saying is just like if we just did pay, because we paid a hefty fee for this guy to come and play here, and I think it was 1.5 million.
Yeah.
for
So,
Horn,
yeah, and if he doesn't stick around and he's just gonna go back, what's the point? Like, what are we do? Are we trying to win something now? There's 8, 9 games left in the season, plus the League Cup that supposedly we're supposed to boycott. But
I mean, the team's not going to boycott the League's Cup though. Like they're going to try and win. So honestly, I think they were probably brought in for the short term for this season. I mean, we've had so many injuries, like we might as well use these new players to try to win the League's Cup. Like like you said, it's hard to do anything in the league at this point. We've lost
yeah,
so many games.
so I'm
Why not go for the League's Cup?
yeah, I'm just interested to see
Oh,
how it ends up.
so this loan is for this year and next year.
Okay,
So he is on loan with us from now, which I'm not sure if he's already even here in the States yet or not. But he's here until June 30th of 2025. So that like rounds out the MLS season. And I'd be surprised if we're like doing well and he's a good player for us that we wouldn't, pay
keep
whatever
him.
the fuck they want.
Yeah,
Yeah. His value is 1.5 mil. So I'm not exactly sure what the fee of the loan was. I don't even know if those details ever get released, but
Yeah, MLS keeps it super hard to find the actual details.
yeah,
I swear, man, they try and make it as difficult as humanly possible.
I think
Yeah.
right now we're at a net negative for our spending this year, which kind of,
Definitely.
but not, it's like negative 200,000. Last year was a
That's not bad
positive
though.
250. So we're kind of just net positive at the moment. Just, but
Yeah,
hopefully,
I to
it's,
kind of echo Muhammad's thoughts on Lutz, I agree that like he has promptly addressed like we were bad, and although if we were going to make the decision to fire Carnell, like in hindsight we probably should have done it earlier just because we could start getting results, but it's not like we were going to have these new players any earlier than we got them.
mm-hmm.
And I think he's done very well to get Hartel through the door. To care kind of up in the air.
Did you
Becker,
hear? Did you hear that? Apparently, Hartel had 17 different offers.
oh, I'm sure he had a ton, man. He was a free agent and he like
Carried his team to
carried
promotion.
St. Pauli
Yeah.
to promotion. Like 18 goals, 13 assists in Bundy 2 is like a pretty insane output. Like it's not ridiculous, but he's a guy that's in like the prime of his career, and I think a lot of people don't think he's going to be that crazy. And while I don't know if he's going to have 18 goals and 13 assists in the MLS, I think he's going to be very good. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up 10 and 10 and is like all-star midfielder for
Yeah.
the MLS.
Yeah,
He's our Lucho Acosta.
Yes, he is going to be our kind of do-it-all. Like I'm already thinking on to next year, like wet dreaming about what the team's going to look like. Like we're going to have Hartel in at cam, Celio on the left side, Klaus up top, and then we could figure out somebody to put on the right side. Like maybe Betcher plays the right side, or we put Alm back in the team.
I think
Like,
you put Alm and get rid of Klaus. That just
you think
me.
we get rid of Klaus?
Yeah, bro. He's a striker that doesn't want to play striker. I
You
can't
can't
do
sign
it.
up for that.
He's like Joe Linton from Newcastle. He's just running back and forward. Dude, just stay
Sounds like
up
we need
there.
to put him at cam, like I just said.
Terrible comparison.
Nah, they're
Bad
Brazilian.
comparison
They're
for
both
sure.
Brazilian, both same age. One's not balding.
Well, I don't know if that's everything we should go off of. I want to touch on the penalty shootout for a second. What did you guys think of that? 'Cause I didn't think it was very good. It was
No.
pretty poor.
I like
That's
this
the
part.
only valuable
Did you guys hear
piece
the
that came out
goalkeeper?
of that.
The
What?
the Juarez goalkeeper.
What?
No, I was
Yeah.
saying Thorson.
Oh yeah, because he was talking. The Juarez
Yeah,
goalkeeper was
dude,
talking
he
the
walked
whole
up.
time.
Who took the first
And
one?
on the replay of, like, if you get on YouTube and watch it, you can hear him talk. He's basically
Oh,
telling
really?
him, like, I know where you're gonna go. I know where you're gonna go. Kept
He
on
said that
saying,
for every single one that shot, and I think he rattled all of them besides Nokvi.
yeah,
Yeah,
both of
that's
them were
dude,
like,
that's why I'm saying Nokvi aura through the roof. He's actually, dude. He walked up there, dude was like, I know where you're gonna go, and he pointed, and he had just saved Tuchert, who went exactly where he pointed. Like I don't know why, I don't like the mind game there. You know,
he
it's all fun
banged
and
that
games.
one
Just
in.
blast it to the net, man.
Yeah, Hartel had a bad
But
penalty.
it was a terrible
Yeah, that was
penalty.
a bad penalty.
Hartel's wasn't good either, but
Yeah.
Nokvi walked up there and put it top 90
Yep.
and fucking shushed him, bro. And honestly, if that's
Aura.
the best thing he ever does for us, he'll go down in my history books.
He's already
I
my
feel
favorite
like
player.
Nokvi has solidified himself already. I feel
Yeah.
like when Alm is back, I don't think Alm gets into the team right away. I think Nokvi should be starting out there.
You think Nokvi should start on the right, I guess?
Yep, I do.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was one of the most disappointing players in this game. I didn't think Vass was that good, and we kind
Yeah.
of praised him out on the right. Been like, that's who we want there, and hasn't really delivered.
I think we've seen the most out of Vasilev that we're gonna see.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting rid of him, like in the squad turnover that we're seeing, because I feel like he's relatively valuable, really versatile player. Like he can play kind of all over the midfield, anywhere you need him, and no matter what, that's going to be needed around the league somewhere.
Well, I mean, I feel like he's a pretty good bench option for that reason. Like, he is very
That's true,
versatile, and he always does run super hard. Like, he's fairly good, at hitting the ball, crossing the ball. I don't know, with his left foot, not his right.
He's got a sweet left foot.
Yeah,
It's just not
but
always...
yeah, I think he's more of like a bench player, come off.
I guess we'll see.
I'm fine to have him coming off the bench. I think that's a good option off the bench.
I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. We're supposed to have a new manager, so we'll see who he wants and who he doesn't want.
True.
Because all these players who are dispensable can just go. We only have a couple of untouchable players, I'd say. Other than that,
Yeah, there's probably a list of in your eyes and in the team's eyes, I think are two different lists.
in my eyes,
I think
just
in the
three,
team-
honestly.
Yeah, I was about to say, in your eyes, it's probably what? Celio, Leuven, Hartel.
I was gonna say Hartel, Leuven, and Berkey.
Oh, okay.
Coming off,
Yeah.
Guys,
coming off a knee
We-
injury. Come on. I don't know.
wait, who? Berkey?
No, Celio.
Oh,
It's
I
rough.
Yeah.
think breaking your leg is a lot better injury to try and come back from than blowing your ACL out or something like
also
that.
true.
I think he'll come back and be basically the same player as long as the break healed correctly. And it looked like, I mean, not to take everybody in the podcast and everybody listening back to that horrifying moment where I had to watch another terrible leg break on live television. But it looked like a clean break, which is what you want when you break your leg. So,
Ian has a PhD.
hopefully he comes back and he's the same, because I think he's our only untouchable youngster. Unless you want to consider
Jose
Berkey.
Kojima. I would
Oh,
consider
he is
Kojima unsellable.
I just don't think he's worth that much yet. I think he has to start a lot more for him to get, some real value behind his name.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna sell him, but if someone says here's $3 million, I'm packing his bags for him.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I'm
You're right.
driving there.
I'm driving to the airport.
I was about to say, man, as long as it's not Celio, I think we gotta take one off the chin and learn our lesson from these other players that we just didn't sell because we were like, oh, they looked good and they'll probably progress. It's like, well, AZ
Will they though?
progress.
Well,
Sam
Gio
didn't
Kini, we
progress.
sold him, and his team got promoted solely because of him.
That is not true. He barely
He had 9 appearances, 0 goals.
Yeah, but
I don't think he started a single
He
game.
had 10 passing out the waters, and that did a lot for his team. A great guy.
10 attaboys.
Attaboys. 10, we got this. Come on.
Do you guys got anything else you need to talk about in today's episode?
We're playing Portland.
Oh yeah, let's get a score prediction for this Portland game. We play them back to back. We'll play them tomorrow. I guess they'll see this the day of the Portland game. I believe it's on Friday.
Wait, why do we play them twice? Is it a
MLS.
two-legged?
No, we play them in the MLS directly after.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
the League's Cup, we're going to Portland, right?
No. It's
League's
it's in
Cup is
St.
at
Louis
home.
tomorrow.
I'm probably gonna try to get some tickets for that
Me
one.
too.
Because now that the group stage is over, I'm done with the boycott. I want to go see the new boys play. I'm already pissed off that I boycotted Hartel's debut for the team when I think he's actually going to become a pillar kind of statue, put a statue outside the stadium kind of player for us.
I think this is also.
I
the
saw
first
him in
time-
Clayton the other day.
Oh yeah, you ran into him and he was with his wife and his mom or something, right?
Did he
And they
smell
were
Yeah.
walking around.
Bro, he winked at me. I felt butterflies in my tummy.
Damn, you.
Wait, I think this is the first time
Did
we
you
ever
get his number?
progressed to the next round.
What'd you
For
say?
us to go through.
No, this is the first time ever we got a whatever going.
No,
the group stages.
we
are,
beat the first round of the Open Cup last year.
Bruh,
Yeah, that's
I'm not considering us being Owl City FC as a victory, man. I'm not doing that.
Hey man, a win's a win.
This is the first time
They
we
coulda
ever-
beat us.
Believe your eyes.
Yeah, Ian's canceled.
Ian was ready for that one.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I think we win 2-1 against Portland tomorrow.
I say bring
I
out
think-
the chainsaw. We're winning 4-0.
Oh shit!
Bring out
I
the
think we're
chainsaw.
gonna lose 2-1.
Listen,
Realistic guess.
Yeah.
Delusional guess. 4-0 win.
that's not delusion. When you see this tomorrow, edit this. Someone edit this. When we win 4-0 tomorrow, give me my money. 'Cause
We're
I'm
the only
betting
one
on it.
editing these. We're the only ones that are gonna edit this content.
Yep.
So
Someone edit it.
Someone
Our
gonna
fans
put
are
the
not
sunglasses
happy.
and the thug life meme.
We're plus 140. You know what that means? I'm putting all
Hammer
my
it.
money.
Bet
Hartel,
the mortgage.
gold.
you heard it here first. Fucking mortgage the house on St. Louis City money line
And
tomorrow.
hey, this is not financial advice. We do not take any
This
responsibility.
is financial advice.
Yes, it is.
Please. Just kidding. It's
I
not.
think that's it for the day. We're gonna get a dub against Portland tomorrow, and then be able to come on here and give you guys some beautiful content on a Sunday. And you know, that's about it.
We're gonna have a
Thank you
special
all for
guest
tuning
on
in.
Sunday.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You guys
let's
see
It's news
what
to
I-
me.
We're hoping for a very special guest on
Surprise guest.
Surprise guest.
Sunday. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Soul of the City. Make sure to check out all of our socials at First Touch 314 on basically everything except for YouTube. We're at First Touch Media. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, shoot it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.
Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.